Let's get Sid Seixeiro on the screen. It's been far too long since I saw this guy. How you doing, Sydney?
What's going on, boys? What's the word? I'm looking for some free Rod Pedersen merch. Can you hook me up?
Absolutely. We'll ship it to your door. It'll be there faster than Amazon. Sid, I miss you.
Miss your brother. Moose, how you doing? How's everyone doing? How's Clark doing? I know
We're doing good.
The mic, but how's everyone doing?
We're doing good, Sid. Listen, no, I miss your opinions. I miss your takes. I mean, you were tweeting.
You're the only one.
No, I didn't always agree, but I always enjoyed them. Let's just start with a good one. Vladdy being the MVP, youngest ever in the All-Star game last night. What'd you think of how it all went down?
Oh, you meant him with the game last night. I thought he was hung up for the season. I think that Ohtani kid has got it wrapped. That was unbelievable. And for a guy who goes to bed at like 9:30, I appreciated the early home run. It was quite the show. My schedule's changed a bit. He is, like I was telling somebody earlier today, like I remember with Tim McAuliffe, we were on the set that for his first MLB batting practice the day he was going to play his first game. And it was nuts. I turned to Tim, I forget who I turned to. And I said, there is no way a living human being lives up to this hype. There is no way a kid with no ABs in Major League Baseball is going to live up to a crowd around the batting cage 5 deep. And you haven't played a game yet. You are a name. You've torn up the minors, you are a name. And he had those growing pains, and quite frankly, he came in that one year not in shape. Moved him to first base. And it was for the best. Because there were some questions for the first time in his life as a ball player. You know, this is a kid who had MLB Network go to him for an interview one day. They don't do that. Not for kids. Like they had Carlos Pena go to him for a batting tutorial. And I was saying how, like, the downs were worth it because he learned some things. He finally got in shape. And he is an absolute animal. He is everything they hoped he would be. And I was so happy for him last night. Not just for doing it for the first MVP who's a J, but the pressure on that kid was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And to see him, even for a fleeting moment, even if this is like the best half season of his life, I'm elated for him. Because at least he's reached a point where he's showing people, yeah, it was worth it. Now, how far this is going to go, who the hell knows? But he is. This is why I don't get bothered by the Jays bullpen one. I don't get bothered by a bad Steve Matz start. Because if that's your core, I guarantee you, unless you are the dumbest front office people in the history of baseball, you're going to be in the playoffs more often than not. Because you can figure it out.
Which these guys, to me, have proved themselves, whether it be making the playoffs last year, the core, as you mentioned, these guys have proved themselves to me. By the way, Sinclair Russell is watching in Northern Ontario on YouTube and says, I miss you as well, Sid. Love the rants. There's a lot of questions coming in about you personally and the BT thing and all that, which we'll get to, Sid. But I got to ask you this. Stephen A. Smith, I said yesterday, he's my guy, he's my spirit animal, but he really stepped in it with what he said about Shohei Ohtani. I couldn't disagree more about him not speaking English. I don't think that matters. But then Vladdy last night had a translator for his interview. So how big a deal is that they don't speak English?
I'll put it to you this way. There are two guys in baseball this year, because I don't watch sports the way I did. I still love it. And I said this to Tim recently. It feels weird not being that immersed in it. I feel kind of feel lazy. I feel like I'm missing stuff. But there are two guys in baseball that I don't want to miss. Vladdy's one. And I'm watching Angels games, and Mike Trout's hurt. And I'm watching them for the kid Ohtani. I could care less whether he needs a translator. And by the way, and you guys know this as well as anyone else, there have been plenty of players who speak all types of languages in North American sports that are in English, who were also horribly mistreated by beat writers across North America and were misquoted. And I can tell you right now, Vlad Guerrero Jr. knows English fine. But he's made a choice that if he speaks to the media, he wants to be quoted accurately. And I'm assuming Shohei Ohtani is in the same boat. I can guarantee you Shohei Ohtani's picked up some English, 100%. but he wants to be quoted accurately. And that's the part of that where Stephen A. Smith, as shrewd as he's been in his career, because he's built a hell of a career, he makes a lot of money for a reason, failed to say. Those guys know English. They just know that a lot of beat writers and reporters nowadays, especially social media, are jackasses and will misquote you for clicks. And so for that reason alone, I have no problem with either of those guys using translators at all, because they're not using it for the reason that Stephen A. Smith kind of pushed out there. Like, Shohei Ohtani is so special. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I think he stepped in it. That's the first time I've ever seen him apologize. He knew he stepped in it.
I know. Well, that's my point.
Unless I'm wrong, Roddy, has he apologized ever? Have you ever seen him apologize for anything?
No, and I watch him every day. And that's I'm shocked that he whiffed on this one. But whatever, as you know, Sid, it's live television. So you can't take back a lot of times things that we say. It is what it is. From James in Borden, Manitoba. Damn you, Seixeiro. Sportsnet will never be the same. Loved Tim and Sid and hope you the best. Nelson Hackowicz writes in and says, how's Sid adjusting to morning life on breakfast television? And here's the thing. Like you said, I just went on a rant. You saw my rant about the Ryder thing. I'm not the Ryder guy anymore. You're not the Tim and Sid guy anymore.
I had 9 Ryder's questions, and I got to pull back now. I felt terrible. I had a lot of Fajardo questions. Like, I was going to ask a ton.
It's you're right. Sorry to disappoint you. I knew, to be frank, because I watched Tim and Sid every day, that when you left, I knew it was your choice, and I was just happy for you. But can you talk? I don't know if you ever really explained the reasons, not that I saw anyways, to make this change from Tim and Sid to Breakfast Television Toronto. So would you mind enlightening us in the country?
I will. And I have 30 to 40 seconds to go completely off topic before we get to that, and I will.
Lots.
I did get the white golf shirt email today.
You saw that?
You haven't
okay.
mentioned this.
Yeah.
Saw the start of the show. Well, obviously, I'm going to see the start of the show. So I'm part of the team. No mention.
Your team
disappointed.
Guy.
Whatever.
Your team
whatever. Guy. I know Moose noticed, didn't say anything. Whatever. Not a big deal. Secondly, what you guys are doing here is great. Congratulations to everyone on the team. This is slick. I know people at home don't know the business like us, but like, to see your rant sponsored is a dream of mine that never materialized. God bless you, Rodney.
Bronco Plumbing.
If I had a rant sponsored, I'd be a millionaire 20,000 times. Look at that, another rant. Boom. You just made $100,000. Just like that. Beautiful. Congratulations on the show. It looks slick.
Thank you.
You guys got a good, fantastic following. You talk. You guys got a great thing going. Congratulations for everyone on the team.
Thank you, Sid.
Would you ask me again? Oh, why I left? Sorry.
You haven't changed.
Why I left. I stray a little bit. It's interesting because the spot I'm in, this is the first time I've sat here since the last Tim and Sid show. This way. And Tim and I were doing this basement show. It started off as 3-hour radio shows with no sports. There were a lot of people in the same boat across the country and in Toronto. They know what that's like. Those were not easy shows. And then as the pandemic kind of went along, you just do a lot of thinking. And the show Tim and I, like you guys know, this isn't an easy show you guys do.
Yeah.
And very few people, very few people you guys understand. There's a handful of people I know, both in Toronto and I know the radio market's gotten a lot tougher in Canada, but some really talented people also know the grind that it's a labor of love, but it can wear on you. And I just found the more Tim and I did it, I just kind of kept, and I've had these conversations with Tim on and off. I felt like what else could we prove to people together down the road? Like what haven't we done? Like we were the type of show where if you need us to go 3.5 hours, no problem. If you needed us to go 7 hours during a Raptors parade, commercial free, no problem. And I was, at some point, you ask yourself, what's the next challenge? And as I I'm at my bar talking to you guys, and I got to a point where if there was going to be another challenge that came along, I would probably, if it made sense, I would be very intrigued. Now, Tim knows, and people who know me know, like I'm a bit of a political head. I'm comfortable talking about a lot of stuff. I find it intriguing. And then the opportunity came along at BT. And I've been watching that show for a while, and it's for people outside of Toronto, it's tough to explain, because I know we're national now, but we have been national a long time. So we're kind of building that audience now, but locally, it's been around for decades. And breakfast television has been a part of people's day, and there's a real. I saw that as a hell of a challenge, because I don't think it's a spot anyone would see me in necessarily. And it got to a point where we had some conversations, and then like my bosses at BT, they're like, okay, I'll talk to the sports guy. Someone said, talk to the sports guy. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to the sports. So one conversation led to another conversation, led to another conversation. Rod, you know how these things go. You mesh with people. And apologies for my feed. I think I'm coming in a little grainy, but as long as can you guys hear me okay?
100%.
Okay, so it got to the point where there was an audition and with Dina Pugliese, who's unbelievable, and it went well. And the sports guy that was a huge underdog at the start of the process is now a minus 150 Vegas favorite to get the chair, and I had to make a decision. And I had a choice between, and I've said this before, I said this with Elliot Friedman and Jeff Merrick on their pod. So this is nothing new, but like Tim and I can do that show in our sleep. And I could probably do it till I retire. But do I want to be that comfortable, or do I want to challenge myself, is what I kept asking myself. And this show, breakfast television, would be a hell of a challenge for a guy who's gone to sleep steady at 3 a.m. every day for 35 years of his life. Maybe not 35. Like, that's a big lifestyle change. So I found it very intriguing, because I knew there was not a lot of people. One, I wanted to work with some of the people there. Two, I knew there were people in our business, outside of our business, who would not think I'd succeed, who wouldn't think it would work. You know what I mean, Roddy? Like,
oh no, I have no idea. I have no idea what you mean by that.
Dumb question. Point taken, Rod.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that was the decision. Do I stay comfortable for a long time? Because I know Tim like the back of my hand. He knows me. We're very different people, but we always worked amazingly well together, I thought.
Oh yeah.
And I think that helped the show. Like, we were very different. Like, it was a very unique show that way. Or do I try this completely different thing? And after sitting in my basement for like 9 months, I said to myself, "This is probably it." Like, that was the push to say to myself, "Listen, sports has been amazing, but I think there's something else out there." And that's essentially what it was.
Cool.
If the pandemic doesn't happen, I don't know if this happens. I'll be straight with all of you. I don't know if this happens. I'm extremely fortunate this opportunity came around. This is a rare opportunity for someone in my position. But I miss Timmy. I miss the guys. I still watch them every day. The new guy's doing all right. Whatever. But thank you. I was waiting for something on that.
How about that?
I got you.
Jesse Rubinoff's doing a great job. I'm breaking him. I'm breaking his, but I'm having a blast doing this. We're doing everything. No 2 days are the same.
Not only
if there's a new.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Not only was I happy for you initially, the other thing, the second thought that I had was, he'll be great. By the way, who owns Breakfast Television? Wonder what corporate banner is that?
Same banner.
It's the same banner?
So I didn't have to move. That was the best part about it, is my swipe card still worked. I didn't have to get a new swipe card.
How about that?
So yeah, there you go. How about that? I got a how about that? Nice. There you go.
Just from some of our viewers here, from Mike Horgan in the 905. Good to hear you on Canada's best new talk show, Sid. All the best. From Nelson, shows like Tim and Sid, Off the Record, and the RP Show are rare in Canada, but abundant in the U.S. What's holding Canadian sports talk media back? I have no idea, and I don't care because we're on the air and we're having fun. Sid gets it. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Off the Record was a great show. Yes, absolutely it was. And Sid, honestly, unfortunately, we are out of time. If you understand how TV works, I'm not sure if you do or not. But with
I've never been on time to leave a segment in my career. This is nothing new to me. So
as you and I are Score alum, I don't know, is Glennie McDonald working at Game Plus this morning?
A shout out Glennie. The Score. I love that. By the way, that conversation you guys had, I forget how recently you had it, but among the Score people, it raced. Like, we really appreciated you guys letting that breathe, because that's an era in broadcasting history in this country that's got to find some space. There was a lot of people who busted their hump at that station who did amazing things. And I really appreciated you guys digging in on that. That was cool.
Cool. Sid, keep in touch, my friend. Go have a nap. I'm sure you're tired. And I'm so glad that it's going so well for you.
Thanks, brother. By the way, Oiler fans, relax. They got to make Connor McDavid happy. All right, just calm down.
Exactly.
No one's talking about it. Connor's
that's the
pissed.
Sid we know.
Unbelievable.
Perfect message right there. Oiler fans, relax. Thanks, Sid.
Relax.
Okay.
See you, boys.
Yeah, you're awesome, man. Appreciate it. Sid Seixeiro, we got a break.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.